Ooh, sit back, enjoy the ride. Welcome to the Rocket Radio Show.
Let's get started! I want warriors to have the tools necessary to stop evil. Welcome to the Rocket Radio Show, post-apocalypse survival series. In today's show, we're going to examine the big dog. Okay, what this is this is a freaking robot that walks on four legs. That can carry like 400 or 500 pounds, I don't know, a lot of weight. Can walk over rough terrain. This is made by those DARPA motherfuckers, so you know this thing's gonna have machine guns or some kind of sound weapons, or who knows what they're gonna put on these things. But you trust me, people. You trust me on this one. These kind of objects, these little creatures, these little robots on four legs, are gonna be looking for you and your family. They're robots. They walk on hydraulic, little spindly legs. Now I'm sure that the militarized ones, since we know our oath keepers won't shoot on American citizens, I'm sure that the militarized big dogs are going to have much sturdier platforms. They'll also have some kind of, I would imagine, at a minimum of a machine gun on top. So I wanted to discuss some ways that you can implement at your home and on your battlefield to help circumvent this new technology. See, I'm trying to be positive instead of it just being a doom card show. So, what can we do? Now, you haven't thought about this, okay? I'm going to rattle off some ideas how you might be able to thwart one of these articulated leg killer robots coming to a theater near you, okay? No bullshit. First thing is inclines. It's probably better to be more up an incline or down a precipice incline than on flat level terrain. And that brings me, think of all the things that can screw up their legs.
Right, that's probably their most delicate features, their legs and maintaining their balance and mobility. Kind of like a turtle. I'm not sure exactly what it would take, but if you could flip it over on its back, it's screwed. Now in other situations like mud, I've seen a horse up to its neck in mud, immobilized. So that would be a good one. So in your defensive perimeter, if you have the ability to make mud, you better go for it. You need a mud trench with no sticks or rocks in it if you can get it that way, so that when these little wild dogs fall down in that mud, their little electronic legs get all caught up in the goo. Worst case scenario, I know from dealing with mud all the time, being up here in Washington State, that even if you could get the mud to cake on their legs, it's going to cause problems for their mechanics. Heaven forbid they fall over and get the whole machine covered in mud.
Just an idea. So trenches. I think waterlogged trenches with punji sticks for the humans, and maybe little slip knot snares of wire that are big enough for those legs to pass through and grab onto. So you could snare their legs. That'd be possible. How about a tripwire with a snare across a path that grabs their legs and throws them up on their side? Keep the tension of a small tree on the rope so that once they fall over, they can't get back up. How about that one? So, you gotta understand, this falls in the whole category of holes and pits. And what about a box? You could get them to fall into a box where the goddamn door closes and they're just stuck in there. You know? So once again, how about this? You set up a path that looks flat and level and dry and everything, and then all of a sudden it makes a hairpin turn right down into a box with a lid that's set to close on it, like a mousetrap. So this brings in the whole thing of ropes and tripwires. How about just big clusters of wire? Just wire collected from all over the place. It doesn't have to be barbed wire, although that would be good. But let's just say, I mean, it's going to be a lot of nasty shit blown up and stuff. There's no reason why you couldn't have big gobs of, big gauge wire. What would happen if one of those fucking robots tried to walk through that shit? I guarantee you, some of that wire would stick to their legs and their body, and they'd start dragging it. It would catch on other stuff, and their little fucking computer brain's going to be like, error, I'm stuck on a goddamn root with a big gob of debris caught up in the undercarriage of that little fucking robot. You see where I'm going with that? Big balls of wire and debris. It could be plastic, you get what I'm saying, or rope set up in the right way, where it starts dragging rope, and then that rope gets caught on something, that thing's screwed. It's a robot. It doesn't have any hands. That's the idea. How about a bulldozer? How about that one? You get a bulldozer all set up. One of those little bastards starts being pushed down through like a guide chute. You make a path setting of the most obvious terrain to follow. It encourages people to go down the path. A boulder here, a boulder there, there's the gap, that's where you walk. What if you had it ready and you had a bulldozer? Whoosh! 3 tons of dirt, buried. Done, neutralized. You see where I'm going with that? You can just bury it. How about this one? Put mirrors on the ground. Make an obvious path, and then put a big-ass mirror on the ground. Its sensors is going to detect that as a hole in the ground and try to avoid it. You see, you might be able to guide them to some kind of trap or snare by using mirrors on the ground. Something you take right off the wall. You see where I'm going with that? Or plastic. What if you spread a bunch of black plastic out? What would the computer think it is? Would they think it's water and not walk on it? I mean, you see where I'm going with that? You could probably fuck with these things quite a bit. What about a mural on the wall showing the horizon? You don't think that would screw that robot up? It'd walk right into it. How about that one? You see, it's a painting. Gasoline. Now, this is going to be in short supply, but you have to admit, if you could guide one of these little bastards to walk through a path where they walked over, 100 gallons of gas just waiting, boom! You got an on-fire robot. Chain link fence. What about spreading chain link fence on the ground? Maybe suspending it off the ground a ways so that the little robot scanner sees that chain link fence and tries to avoid it, and you can guide it away from your locale, or much less it tries to crawl across it and its feet penetrate through and then can't come out. You got a stuck robot again. Then what you can do is sneak up on that little bastard and run over there and salvage the machine gun off the top of it. And then get your local nerd to rewire that son of a bitch and throw a saddle on it. And then you can ride it around in the future. You see where I'm going with that? Think I'm crazy? They said I was crazy about 9/11 right after 9/11. I remember telling people in high school, 1979, I said they were listening to every phone call. Suddenly, the conspiracy theorists are correct. Well, I've been telling you people, robots, warning. It's going to be the attack of the robots. You watch. Okay, how about some other ideas? How about a tape deck with people talking on it? A tape deck, right, because you're going to lose it, or a digital recorder or something. And you turn that bastard on, and then it starts making human sounds. And those robots hear that and go over to check it out, and there's no people, they start fucking freaking out. You let them right into an ambush. So you can use sounds to fuck them up. How about this? Blowhorns. What if you had, your rebel force and you saw the wild dog coming and you had blowhorns and everyone started talking at the same time and just fucked it all up? Just some ideas to distract it or attract it to an ambush location. Blowhorns. Road flares. Probably going to have some kind of thermal imaging. Probably going to have some kind of AI. It's going to be learning all the time. It's looking for abnormalities, and one of them would be fire. Fire and smoke usually equals people, so road flares. A road flare might be a good bait to bring in one of these wild dogs, one of these big dog robots sent to kill you, painted all nice and blue with UN numbers on it, and Obama and Valerie Jarrett riding on the back. You could use grease or fat or mud, or maybe even like pea gravel? How about making the robot go through a little trench, doesn't realize it's walking in adhesive, bunch of fucking roofing adhesive or something, and then it has to walk through pea gravel, and all that shit just sticks all over the fucking place. You could use string, yarn, fishing line, gobs of it, and get it all caught up on the device. What about walls? What about a wall of sticks? What's it going to do if there are sticks in a wall? Just sticks. Maybe it can just blast through it. Maybe it'll climb over it. Maybe it'll ram it. If it does any of those things, we're going to learn what its behavior is and modify your tactics. So walls, stairs. You can easily go pull up a cattle crossing. I bet cattle crossings fuck these big dog killer robots all the heck up because they walk across it and their legs fall through. You could use pig fencing, grading, put it horizontally, lay it on the ground with a pit underneath it, deep enough so that their legs fall through, they're stuck. Think. They're just little spindly robots. Barbed wire, it's everywhere. You could make a grid pattern to make it almost impossible for him to walk through without getting caught on it. You could use a storage container or like a box truck and set up a trap where he doesn't even realize as he walks along that a big piece of plywood gets flipped up and then all of a sudden they slip and slide and fall down in the truck and you shut the door and now they're inside there. They're screwed. You hear them? You could trap these little sons of bitches. You could use paint, grease, glue, asphalt. You could use acid. You could light them on fire. That would be another thing. You could light them on fire somehow as they walk through an ambush. You want to make a path setting and guide these little big dogs. Use bait, like I said, or confusion, a road flare, whistles to screw up their little programming. They're not going to be that smart. You could make a pendulum crushing trap. This is a great one. It could be a tripwire based on a path, a guided path. As they're going along, they trip the wire, and then you've got a 14-foot-long tree hung by ropes that swings down Predator style. Via Arnold Schwarzenegger Predator style, 1996, I think, when that movie came out, where a big log on ropes, boom, hits that son of a bitch and killer robot. That's possible. Maybe it could just knock him into a pit. It wouldn't take but a couple of days to dig a pretty goddamn deep pit that would fuck up a little robot that needs to walk on a flat surface. You could make your bug out areas take advantage of cliffs, caves. You could go on an island. Maybe these things will be waterproof. Who knows? But trees, tree forts, tree stands, tree blinds. You could be up in the trees. You could use ropes or vertical ladders. They're not going to be able to climb that shit. Well, maybe they will, but not the big dog. And that one, they're ready. They can deploy that one. So take advantage of making like a moat around. You could make literally, if you could get a river to fill it, that'd be awesome. How about a 10-foot moat all the way around your defensive situation? Maybe rivers, lakes, or mud, or swamps. Almost impenetrable. That's what you're shooting for. Okay, so these are just some ideas that you might ruminate on how you could defeat a militarized robot. Because, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be drones and robots. It's for some of you smart people out there that are listening right now, I want to hear some technical ideas how to circumvent drones, infrared cameras. You hear me what I'm saying? How does a person defeat that on the ground? If you're a person walking around in a dense forest, they can see you. How do you prevent that? I'd like to hear some more thoughts. Let's get a conversation going on how we can defeat the killer robots that are coming. Thanks for listening to the Rocket Radio Show. I encourage you to continue your viewership here on the Alternate Media Broadcast Network. We've got some really great things coming, including a live show. Stay tuned, people. That's an order. Oh yeah, push like. Don't forget.
Yeah, we got him on the way.
911, what is your emergency?
Yeah, I'd like to report a robbery in Mass Moita.
What is the nature of your call?
Well, it's mass murder.